Greetings, fellow test subjects. Test subject 1337 here for Aperture Gaming Reviews. They make it, we test it, you play it. And welcome to a fast Aperture review. Now, before we get too far into this episode of Afar, first we have to start with the overall score. For this title, we are going to give a 7.5 out of 10. Now, before we get into this game, first off, it came out this year in two segments, or two sides of the tape. And here's what, I'm putting on the screen right now, the warning. Yeah, this game has a lot of mature content in it, including but not limited to strong language, drug, tobacco, alcohol, just underage use of said things. That's just to name a few things. But yeah, there is so much mature content in this game that we here at channel Pirate Captain Jeff and Aperture Gaming Reviews neither support or condone. So viewer discretion and gaming discretion is advised. Please be sure to game and watch responsibly. Thank you. Yeah, so this is an interesting title. It takes place in the 90s, and like I said, it has a lot of mature stuff in it. So what is this title, and why did it get this score? Well, let's get into the review and find out together. Shall we?
The name of the game is Lost Records Bloom and Rage. It's a standalone title. It was developed and published by Don't Nod. You play as Swan, a socially awkward teenage girl. The last summer you spend in your town before transferring to a different school, you make 3 friends of fellow misfits. The game tells a story about the summer of 1995 and then jumping to present day 2022. It starts off as a normal summer, becomes something like a mix of I Know What You Did Last Summer and Blair Witch Project, all while trying to recover your memories. This is a third-person title. As Swan, you can interact with items in the world around you, and you have a video camcorder with you, which you use to take video clips for collecting. You can interact with items in the environment which affect how the story will progress, and depending on what questions you ask, the conversations you select, or choosing to remain silent, this affects your relationships and the progress of the story. And there are some times where a visual and audio clue will happen in that story you have to pay attention for later on. Graphics are going for realism. As someone who was alive during that time period, I appreciate some of the details in the world. I also like how they reference some real world things at the time. The audio does a good job of conveying the story, and depending on where you are looking, the audio is affected how well you can hear someone. It definitely captures the sound of the 90s. The game is single player, and depending on which platform you're playing, the only DLC is the soundtrack. The game has a few issues. The camera has a finite amount of space, so you have to figure out what to film, and there's a lot to film. And if you miss something in a location, you can't go back to it unless you replay that chapter. You have to pay attention on whether or not to speak in certain moments. But for me, the biggest issue was how it took so long before we started getting into the interesting part of the story. If you're a fan of the Life is Strange franchise or Detroit Become Human, then you'll enjoy this game. The pacing is a little slow, but since I only have a week to play and review these games before I have to play a new one, maybe that's just me. It's just interesting how games are making references to the 80s for so long and now we're getting a 90s reference. This title is a buy.
Well, that's all the time we have for this episode. Thank you for watching a fast Aperture review. Until next time, this has been Test Subject 1337 saying thank you for watching and game on. Until next time, please be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thank you very much, and have a nice day.